Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. I am here to talk about another Goosebumps book. Originally, I was going to upload the Chucky finale review tonight, but the Wi Fi is so slow that I'm just going to have to upload a shorter video and then upload the Chucky review tomorrow. And I think that the next time this happens, I'll just have to upload both videos at the same time, because what I did was when we went out, I uploaded my first podcast episode, Marco Dishes Out on Life, episode 1. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description. And that video was an hour and 40 minutes long, and I thought that we would shoot the Chucky review and upload it in the evening, but it doesn't look like that's going to be possible. So, I'm going to replace that with doing another Goosebumps review. Goosebumps is basically like it's like the little putty you can fill in cracks with, basically. Like that's the equivalent of Goosebumps books. So, I am reviewing The Headless Ghost. I was really excited for this one. I heard a lot of bad things about it. I heard it was boring. I heard it was bad. Some people said that they liked it, but I was really excited for it. I thought that it would be really cool to see an R.L. Stine ghost story. Maybe it'll be really good, and it'll subvert my expectations of it being bad. But I wasn't prepared for how bad this would be. I mean, I thought that it would be bad, sure, maybe, but it turned out to be really, really bad. And that's coming from someone who can really, I've really been able to overlook a lot of the things with these books because they're for kids. So you have to have a little bit of a different mindset sometimes. But I'm looking at it also in the perspective of, if I was still a kid, I would have hated this. And in fact, a big reason why I never read the Goosebumps books as a kid was because they were so boring. And like, I remember as a kid, I would pick one up and I would be like, this is a really cool cover. And then I'd open up the book and I'd be like, ugh, this is so boring. Like, just throw it out, fold it up and rip it apart and just forget about it and throw it in the corner. Like, that's how boring Goosebumps is as a kid. But it's only now that I'm an adult that I can actually sit through these books. And honestly, this Headless Ghost book is the worst one so far. It is so bad. It started off kind of promising with this ghost tour where you have this old guy and he's giving a ghost tour of this old house, and it's like, okay, this is it's okay. But then you have the main characters introduced, these pranksters, Stephanie and Dwayne. And I looked up some stuff about it since I read it so long ago, and I didn't want to just, spend 10 minutes guessing things. But these main characters are complete trash. They're even worse than the boring characters because these characters are bad. I mean, they're pranksters. That's all they are. There's nothing else to their characters. Well, I guess Dwayne doesn't want to do any pranks anymore. But really, the book kind of tricks you into thinking that it's going to be this really epic ghost story with this haunted house. But then it turns into literally just their friendship, and it's all about their friendship and their past. So there's this big chunk of the book where you have Stephanie and Dwayne, and it's literally showing the origin of their pranking. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, who wanted to see that? I don't know. So you get to see them like first pulling their pranks as kids and how their friendship evolved. And then you see them constantly in the tours, and you see sort of, I can't really remember honestly, like it was just really boring. Like when I read this book, it was an annoying fog of irritation. Like when I was reading it, I was just waiting to turn it off, to like, like in that one movie, turn it off, turn it off. I was livid at how bad this book was. Nothing happens in this book. Nothing. It's so boring and it's so lifeless and dull, and it and then you get to the end part where it becomes about getting the head of the Headless Ghost, and you have this other guy Seth, and you have the plot with that, and oh god, ugh, 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 it gives me shivers just thinking about how bad of an experience reading this book was. And I know that it's funny coming from, after I just kind of said the same stuff about Say Cheese and Die. But the thing about Say Cheese and Die was that it had some good elements in it, and it had a really good idea. The Headless Ghost hardly had anything good at all. In fact, I think there was nothing good in this whole book. It was a complete waste of time and a complete loss. So I would say that this is the worst Goosebumps book that I've read so far. The only slightly redeeming part is that I like the ending because the ending was different than the episode. In the episode, they had this stupid backstory where there's like a ship captain, and you obviously know that it's going to be Otto. And so at the end of the book, you find out that he's the ghost. I mean, in the episode, that he's the ghost, and he wants to kill them too, along with Seth and all those others. Like, it's just so stupid, and the way that they find the head so easily, like after all these years, these two random kids go in this house and find the head in like 2 seconds, like it was a little Easter egg hunt. Instead of an Easter egg hunt, it's like a little head hunt. Like it was so easy. But in the book, it's actually a lot better because at the very end, they escape the house, and Otto was never a part of the conflict, the final climactic scene. But then at the end, they decide to go back to the house one last time to take one last tour, which that's another thing too, was that it was so unbelievable that these kids would be so bored and so like dumb and boring that they find that they get their most enjoyment, their most amusement is from them going to this tour and being on a haunted tour and playing pranks on people. I mean, that's already stupid. Like, seriously, that doesn't make any sense. I could see, like, going once every year, maybe, like around Halloween time or something. I could see maybe that would be pretty fun. But to just go there, like, all the time, like they did, it's like, ugh. Like, these kids are a couple of losers. But it was cool. They go back one last time to sort of reflect and to it's kind of like an interesting moment, like a sentimental like friendship type of moment. But then they go in the house, they take the tour, and when they walk out, the police are there, and the police say, "What are you doing? This place has been closed for 1,000,000 years." And then they look back up, and it turned out that the people, Otto and his wife, I guess, they were ghosts all along. But they were friendly ghosts, I guess. But I thought that that was actually a lot better than the ending in the episode. And it's funny because the episode is actually even worse than the book, I think. Well, they're both terrible, and I think that it's a real shame because this is like his one ghost story, or I mean his one ghost story, in terms of this setting and this location, and uh, I think it was a big shitty waste that that he fucked this up this badly. Like this was abysmal. Like there's nothing really good to say about it, and I would never read this again. I would never recommend anyone else read this one, and I would recommend you forget about it. Like, there's other bad Goosebumps books that I could say, yeah, you could read that one, like the Return of the Mummy. You know, that one sucked, but if you really want to read it, you'll read it anyway. But with this book, I would say stay the hell away. Treat this book like the house in the story. Stay the hell away from this haunted house, this dirty old haunted house. Stay away from this haunted, dumbass book with no good characters, no good story, and no good anything. I give this book an F minus, obviously. It is still at the bottom of my list because I've been ranking them all along as I've been reading them, and I'm still on Welcome to Horrorland. So please like this video if you liked it, and then comment and tell me what you thought about the Headless Ghost, because I'm sure there are some people who like it, which that's fine, you know. And then please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more Goosebumps book reviews in the future. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.